Welcome to the PAM QA Plus Mapping Overview. We've got an icon up the top of the screen with a little map on it. If you click on that, that will open the mapping section of the program. What we have on the screen here is, on the left hand side we have views and layers, and in the center of the screen we have the actual map showing. Across the top we have various icons that pull up submenus, etc. The first icon is a magnifying glass with a plus in it that zooms in on the map. Magnifying glass with a minus zooms out. The next icon will zoom back to the current view. If we've got an object selected, the fourth icon will zoom on to the selected object. When we're zoomed in, the next icon, the cross icon, will allow us to pan around the map. The next icon is the mouse pointer, which is a standard mouse pointer. You can use the left mouse to select an object, or the right mouse to draw a rectangle to zoom to. The next icon is a measuring tool. Simply click, move the mouse, and click, move the mouse, and click. We have a cumulative distance, a bearing, and an area. As we move the mouse, we get the distance, and the distance east-west, and the distance north-south for each leg. Let's just have a look at the layers and views setup. Basically what we have under layers is we have layer groups and layers. You can have any number of layer groups, and within each layer group you can have any number of layers. You can turn all the layers on, turn all the layers off, create new layers, delete layers, rename layers, and move them up and down. And you can also do layer groups, new, delete, rename, move up, move down. Just imagine a layer to be a sheet of plastic over top of an aerial photograph. You can click on the visible column to show or hide layers. And you can also click on the editable column to lock layers so they can't be changed. To add a new layer is simply a case of giving it a layer name and say which group of layers it belongs to. You can merge layers and move layers around as well. So if I get a layer and drag it to another position, I can either move it or merge it. What the views do is actually keep track of what layers are turned on and off and where in the world we're zoomed to. So you can have several different views of one property. For example, we've got Fairport Farm, which has an aerial photograph turned on. We have the Fairport Farm biomass, which has the photo turned off but a biomass image turned on. A Fairport Farm map, which is just the basic map. We have a Fairport paddocks and photo, a Fairport Farm reports. So you can see each view that we click on has different layers turned on and off. So to simply change a layer, say we turn sheds on and road names and turn gates on, we can go to the File Tools, Views, and we save the view as Fairport Farm Gates. We now have another view. Let's now have a look at the drawing tools. Let's get the paddocks and map view up. I will draw a paddock down the bottom here that is new, so I'm just going to zoom in down the bottom of the screen here and bring up my drawing toolbox. The first layer denotes what the mouse is going to do. So we've got a panning tool, so we can move around the photo if we need to. We have the normal mouse selector. We can insert a point, we can delete a point, we can move a point, create a new object, or delete an object. The second row denotes what you're going to draw. So we've got polygons, circles or ellipses, rectangles, polylines, text, symbols, and points. The style button can determine the look and feel of any object you draw. So we can have line colours and widths and styles. The style only comes into play where you're drawing polylines. You can have the polygon not filled, or you can have just a solid fill. You can have a pattern. There's a large number of patterns available. You can choose a foreground colour and a background